We just got exclusive benchmark leaks for the upcoming iPhone 15 Pro's A17 Bionic chip. And just by looking at these scores, you guys are finally gonna understand why I've been calling the last couple of Apple chips stopgaps, like the A16 chip, which is apparently on 4 nanometer, but it's now been proven that there is no physical difference between TSMC's previous 2nd gen 5 nanometer. So in this video, I'm gonna reveal those crazy scores for the A17 chip, but first I wanna mention why it's so powerful. Well, first of all, we had reports last year that the A17 chip and the M3 will be built using TSMC's 3 nanometer process, and we know that for sure because Apple has already ordered the entire supply of TSMC's 3 nanometer chips for the iPhone 15 Pro and M3 Max, and we even got reports about the amount of chips that they've started making since late December, 45,000 3 nanometer wafers per month by March, which I think is enough to meet the A17 and M3 demand. So this is what Apple was waiting for in vain during all of 2022 with those 5 nanometer stopgap chips. We're gonna get a huge performance boost with the A17. So no wonder we've been getting more and more reports of TSMC's 3 nanometer being better than expected, and reports that the iPhone 15 Pro's next gen chip capabilities will spark upgrade demand among current iPhone owners. Yes, there will be a ton of people who will upgrade when they see the performance. But before I move on, I've got to talk about the best Macsafe iPhone case I've ever seen, the Magic Stand case from our partner K-Sku. Not only is it surprisingly slim and durable, but it comes with a very strong 48 magnet Macsafe ring that actually doubles as a stand. Just pull out the ring to use it as a finger grip or as a stand for watching videos at any angle between 40 and 120 degrees. And the best part is that it folds back completely flush with the case, so you can still use it with your Macsafe chargers and accessories. So check out the link and all the discount info in the video description below. So without further ado, I want to get into this leak and I want to show you how it started. I replied to a tweet by Michael on Twitter showing that the S23 got a big performance boost with Geekbench 6 with the latest update. So I made a funny joke reply saying, "Samsung, quick, how can we optimize for the new Geekbench 6? And I got a reply with the benchmark leak right here, but it was actually deleted by the author, and he even deleted his entire Twitter. So that makes it seem like he knew something that we don't. So without further ado, here it is. As you can see, there was somebody that replied to me saying, "Apple, incoming ... mind blowing," with a Geekbench 6 CPU score right here. Now, if you think this is fake, I can assure you that it is not, because of the combination of the single core and the multi-core score. As you can see, 3,986 is absolutely insane. And just to show you, look at this. The highest Geekbench 6 single core score right now is 3,063 with the Intel i9 13900KS, a brand new 13th gen Intel chip. Now, of course, this is not overclocked, this is factory, but it's the highest score we've ever seen. And the big thing you have to notice here is that this UI is a smartphone UI. It's completely different than the one you get on computers running it on computer apps. This is a smartphone test. As you can see, it's 30% faster than the fastest Intel chip in terms of single core score. But the banger here in terms of the evidence is the multi-core. It's only 8,800 points, which is nowhere near what that same chip gets. For example, that chip gets 21,000, not 8,800. And that means it's an iPhone chip. This is a prototype A17 Bionic chip score. Yes, prototype. But the craziest thing about that multi-core score is that it actually beats out the M1 MacBook Air's multi-core score of 8,258 points. Yes, the A17 Bionic iPhone 15 Pro will be faster than an M1 MacBook Air. And of course, we can also see the M2 chip in the 16-inch MacBook Pro. The single core is 2,700, so obviously, this A17 chip is a lot faster. And just in case you're wondering how that compares to the A16 chip in the iPhone 14 Pro Max, this got 2437 for the single core, so the A17 will be 63% faster. Yes, 63%, which is a massive improvement. And guess what? That same improvement is coming to multi-core as well. 63% faster, 8841 compared to 5430. That is finally a good improvement for Apple's chips. No more stopgap A15, A16. That is a good improvement. But wait, it gets even better if we compare this score from the A17 to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 within the S23. And yes, that's after the update that improved Geekbench 6 performance. Look at that, the single core score is literally over 2 times more powerful than the best chip on an Android phone. And then in terms of the multi-core, it's 80% faster. That is absolutely mind-blowing, and now you guys will understand why so many people are gonna be upgrading to the iPhone 15 Pro. Now, however, there is a catch because I was able to message this Twitter user who now has a deleted account, but he replied to me confirming that it was a prototype A17 chip within the iPhone 15 Pro, but there's a little bit of an issue because this is a prototype result, and he says that the heat is gonna be excessive, so it gets very hot while running this test and other tests. So apparently Apple is gonna have to cut down the performance to maintain the heat. So realistically, we probably won't see the score this good. So maybe if we take 10% off the top of the performance, we're gonna see around 3,500 for single core and around 8,000 for multi-core, so it's still gonna be basically the fastest single core score ever out of any chip, even with them cutting down the power to make the heat work well. But now what about the GPU? I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking for leaked benchmarks on that, but unfortunately we don't have them. However, there is even better news for the GPU because Apple apparently canceled a next generation GPU, potentially with ray tracing, for the current A16 Bionic chip, thanks to engineering problems. Now, if you didn't already know, Geeker1 on YouTube confirmed that the A16 is actually less efficient than the A15 in terms of the GPU. And why does that make sense? Well, that's because the A16 uses faster RAM, which means it uses more power, so it's not as efficient. But going even further, Geeker1 confirmed that Apple literally copy and pasted the same GPU into the A16 chip from the A15. So there's literally no difference at all. Apple scrapped the next gen GPU and they're holding it off until the A17 chip. But wait, it gets even better. Not only is the A17 gonna have a next gen GPU redesign, but it's also gonna be built on 3 nanometer. So it's gonna take advantage from both of those at the same time, leading to a massive boost in performance for the graphics as well. But it doesn't end there because we also have to talk about the efficiency, which is gonna boost battery life. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but the iPhone 14 Pro Max almost performed as well as the Asus ROG Phone 6 in terms of battery life. But the crazy thing is, the iPhone only has a 4,300 milliamp hour battery, while the Android phone, the Asus, had a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. So 40% larger and almost the same battery life. But guess what? The iPhone 15 Pro is gonna have a larger battery, and that's because the CADs for the 15 Pro were released by Max Weinbach, and you can see the difference in thickness. Look at that, the new one is clearly thicker than the current iPhone 14 Pro. And that of course was the official CADs leaked by Max Weinbach, which you can see right here. And in case you think these are fake, it was actually confirmed to have thinner bezels like this with 2.5D glass by another leak, which had the actual front glass leak showing the curve and the ultra thin bezels, matching up to what Max Weinbach said. But getting back to the battery life improvement with the A17 chip, we had a report that the A17 Bionic chip could be 35% more energy efficient, enabling longer battery life thanks to 3nm from TSMC. So essentially, we're gonna have the fastest chip ever made in a smartphone coming to the iPhone 15 Pro. We're getting a huge GPU redesign, and we're getting a big boost in battery life all at the same time. And not only that, but we have even more leaks pointing to a titanium frame, solid state buttons, a periscope lens on the Pro Max, more RAM, 8 gigs instead of 6, Wi-Fi 6E, and USB Type-C, maybe even Thunderbolt. So this is gonna be a banger redesign upgrade with the iPhone 15 Pro, and tons of people are gonna upgrade, especially for this absolutely insane leaked benchmark score. So with that said, let me know your thoughts on this leak down in the comment section below, and click the circle above to subscribe. So with that said, let me know your thoughts on this leak down in the comment section below. So with that said, let me know your thoughts on this leak down in the comments below, and click the circle above to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.